Men, I need y'all to hear this message, so come here. The reason why friends with benefits does not seem to work with you guys is because you guys don't understand the concept of friends with benefits. The friend first. And let me give you an example of what I mean when I say this. Y'all would get into these friends with benefits situations thinking that the female wants more from you, and it don't even be the case majority of the time. Majority of the time, we've already established mentally that you're not relationship material, which is why we settle for the friends with benefits. Because why? We like company too, and we also need benefits. And just like y'all like to reiterate this to us, half of y'all are not the catch that you guys think that you are. So just throwing that out there too. So when a girl who you're having friends with benefits situation with hits you up, and she asks you to do something friendly, like, I don't know, go to the movies. She ain't trying to marry you. We not trying to marry you. We're not trying to propose. Like, damn, maybe I just wanted to go see the Minions. Like, that's what it was. That's all it is. But no, you guys assume that because we're having sex and we ask you to do something outside of us having sex, that now, we want to get proposed to by you. And no, you're still the same dude that I agreed to have this situationship with. Just leave it like that. Like, you don't have to overthink everything. Some women can really separate the pleasure from the fun, and it just be that. Like, just accept it.
Right? Because if you are not the hunter, then you are the one being hunted, right? You don't want to be the prey. Okay. And that's what males look to do. Males look to make women prey. That's just the way it is. I know how that sounds crazy, right? But that's how it is. That's just how it is. Males look to make women prey. And women, most of the time, if you're smart, if you're not a pick-me-sha, you're not going to be prey. The males might think that you're the prey until they figure out, wait a second, that's not what's been happening this whole time, because males are kind of slow, when it comes to these mental processing, emotional processing does not exist for them, right? They just don't know how to do it. They just haven't evolved to that level, right? So if they know that the woman has emotional self-control and the woman isn't even into him and the relationship has been established as just a friendship, they'll usually ghost you, stop talking to you, start insulting you, they'll blame you. Like, they're just they're just a very unevolved species. And it's very sad, but that's just the truth and reality of the situation that we're dealing with. So there's no point in you giving them a reward for a skill set that they don't even have, for a skill set that they haven't even demonstrated that they can have as a mass, as a whole, on a societal level. Make it make sense, right? Make it make sense, okay?
Y'all to do me a solid and be fucking for real.
Hola, mis amores, ¿cómo están? ¿Cómo están haciendo? I am my loves. How are you? How are you doing today? Those of you that are new to my channel, here we talk about all social issues, specifically pertaining to women and for women. So anything that pertains to us, we talk about it. Males can't even be friends with benefits. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the simple fact that you can't even be friends with benefits with a male? Because males don't have the capacity, males have not evolved, and I don't think they ever will. Actually, males are doing worse than they were doing several decades and millennials ago. When it comes to their psychology, when it comes to their evolution, it's literally almost like they devolved. It's almost like they've literally devolved. So let's take a look at the videos. I'll leave my comments at the end as usual, okay? And oh my gosh, y'all don't forget to smash that like button for me. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button for me. I love y'all so much. Love you so much.
Men don't have multiple areas in the brain for emotions. They only have 2 areas of the brain for emotion, and they compartmentalize it. So how women will be like, oh, it's like pulling teeth to get him to talk. It's because men can very easily just set aside the emotion, and if they do tap into the emotion, it's pure emotion, because they're not able to solve problems and talk and hear at the same time. So it's just this one area for emotion, and then if it's gonna come out, it's gonna come out raw and scary.
This is what a woman has to understand. A man has no emotions when it comes to sex. A man can literally stick his dick in a gas tank. So when he lays with a woman and you say, well, you've been sleeping with her for years, he don't even like her. But when a woman lay with a man, it's something about him she has to like. If you ask a woman, what do you think about this? She's gonna say, well, I feel like. If you ask a man, well, how do you feel? He's gonna say what he thinks. By nature, we're hunters. A hunter can't be in tune with his feelings because he wouldn't hunt out of fear. A woman is more emotional because she has to nurture. She has to give life. And so a man will sleep with something he hates. A woman won't. So it's much more impactful when a woman lay down with a man because that's her heart.
How many men just want to be friends with women?
Just because you don't
How
want to be
many?
friends.
Can you answer my question, Kenny?
I don't know. Probably not many, but that doesn't.
Okay, then. So that's why you shouldn't approach.
So the numbers are not in your favor.
The numbers not in your favor.
That doesn't get in the fact into knowing somebody.
That's true. That is true.
I get that.
That is all word behavior because you think somebody, just because you approach them, you need to have sex with them.
Kenny,
I didn't say they need to.
Kenny,
I never said
what
that.
you're saying.
I'm saying with the man's already intentions, preconceived notions.
If a woman is approaching this man, the first thing on that man's mind is, oh, she like me first. She wants to do things.
Yes. You know that. Come on, don't do this. Kenny. Stop pandering like that, bro.
That is cool.
Hey, that's cool.
I understand
what I'm
that part.
saying.
That's cool. But the moment she says, in that same breath for him thinking that, the moment she say,
His
hey,
interest level
I
drops.
just want to be friends.
His interest
I
level is
like
gonna drop.
your energy. His interest level.
Come on.
I saw a video earlier today of a young woman who was at the gym, and it looks like she's getting ready to start her workout. It looks like another guy is passing her and he's getting ready to leave. So she puts her fist out to fist bump him. He completely ignores her, doesn't even look at her. And then when you read the caption, it says, when you lose your favorite gym bro because he asked you out and you declined. So now he's punishing her because she did not want to go out with him. Ladies, raise your hand if this has ever happened to you, where you think you have a really great guy friend, even a guy best friend. You'll work out together, you'll hang out together, you'll talk to each other. You know, you'll do things that friends do with each other. And then through one way or the other, eventually they will ask you out, they will tell you that they're interested in you, etc. You will tell them that you're not interested in them, at least not like that. You want to be friends with them, you have a really good friendship going on. And the second you tell them that, it's over. They either say that they're the victim, you're friend zoning them, how could you do that? They say you owe them because they've given all of these things to you, all this time to you, or they'll just pretend that you no longer exist because they realize they can't get anything from you.
Men and women can never be just friends. I once had a boyfriend who kind of enlightened me. He told me, every guy that you think you're friends with would sleep with you if he had the opportunity to. And I was so dismissive of that. Like, that's not true. You don't know them like I know them. And guess what? 99% of the time, eventually, those guys would make a move on me. Even if it was just a quick comment when they were drunk, it's kind of like they just throw out a fishing line to see if you'll nibble, and if you don't, they just reel it back in. And a lot of times when I would reject those advances from guy friends, they would just stop being friends with me in total. But obviously, being my friend was just a fake show to see if he could get something more out of me. Or I've had guy friends who were like, don't worry, I would never do that. I'm a good guy. And then one day they just turn the conversation really sexual or send me a suggestive photo like, be fucking for real. But let's be realistic, majority rules. Even if you don't have intentions of being with them, to be real with you, most men are actually usually not even friends with women they wouldn't potentially want to, unless you are friends based on a very specific situational thing like work, school, or if you are just part of a larger friend group. Those situations are different. But one-on-one, best friends between a straight man and straight woman does not exist, unless he's like gay, of course. Straight men and straight women usually can't be friends, are very visual. Actually, a lot of men will completely ignore your existence unless you are at least somewhat conventionally attractive. And I know this because I grew up ugly. And the second I got prettier, the way men treated me was a complete 180. Suddenly guys were nice to me, would smile when they talked to me, want to be my friend, do favors for me, hold doors open. And a lot of times it's not because they're kind, it's because unfortunately, a lot of people don't see the point in being nice to someone unless they can potentially get something out of them. A lot of men, if they see you as unattractive, they don't even see you. A lot of them won't even make eye contact with you. I know it's harsh to hear, but guess what? It's a harsh world. You might not realize it now, but that guy friend is most likely just waiting around for the right opportunity to make a move on you. I don't want this to be as pessimistic as it sounds, but I have rarely been proven wrong.
We have male friends.
You're gonna call your male friends off if you don't want
Absolutely.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
The reason why you guys are friends is because initially you put him in the friend zone. That man initially wanted to have coitus. What I don't agree on is men agreeing to be friends. That doesn't make any sense to me. If you find her sexually attractive, that's perfectly fine. But then women get this weird concept in their mind that their male friends are not trying to actively have sex with them. If you gave him the chance, he will. That is why most men have problems with men being friends with their girl. Men want to go from A to C, from approach to coitus. Y'all want to hit B, boy best friend. Men don't want to do that.
Men and women cannot be friends. And don't fight me on this one. I know this. I really don't have a lot of male friends, or really male friends at all, that I think of it. Because I know for a fact that if I said, let's go, they would go.
Males can't even be friends with each other, okay? And I've made a video, one of my most recent videos, is on how males can't be friends with even each other. They don't have the capacity for friendships. If you haven't caught that video, make sure to go ahead and get caught up immediately after watching this video on what I'm talking about when I say that, right? So if males, let's just reason and process through this, right? Let's use kind of like the common sense, spidey senses there, right? Like, let's process through this logically. If males don't even have the capacity to be friends with each other, then in what world would males be able to be friends with women? In what world would that happen? In no world does this exist. It does not exist. It is not possible. It's not possible. Unless that male is gay, right? It is not possible for a male to be friends with benefits with a woman, right? Because what is friends with benefits? Friends first, benefits second. That's why it's called friends with benefits. Well, if a male can't even be friends, they're not even cut out psychologically to have the capacity and be able to be friends with you, right? Then why do you think that they would be able to successfully be friends with benefits? Okay. And the thing about it is males lie all the time too, right? So they'll lie and say, 99.9% of males will lie and say, oh yeah, like I want to be friends with benefits with you, instead of just being honest and admitting that the only thing that they want out of that situation is the benefits part. And they're not actually capable or willing to be friends with you. So if you were to call them up and say, hey, you want to go catch a movie? You want to go out to eat somewhere? You want to like do something, fun? I'm totally bored, right? Like they won't even put in the effort, right? They won't even speak to you until they want the benefits part. So yeah, even being friends with benefits, ladies, is a complete waste of your time, because you're not going to get the part that is the most useful to you. And the part that's most useful to you is usually going to be the friendship part. But males don't have the capability of being friends. They don't have the emotional wherewithal. They just have not evolved. So they don't even know how to process emotions, and they don't even know what the meaning of emotions are 99.9% of the time, okay, unless you're dealing with a gay male. And that tells you something as well. Have you ever stopped to wonder why the males that are more in tune with emotions, right, most of them, 99.9% of them, end up gay? They end up wanting to be with another male. Have you ever sat to think about why that is, right? So males that are more in tune with their emotions end up choosing to be with another male. And even back in the day, if we're talking about Greek mythology, and I'm not going to try to go too psychological, too in depth. I always have to try to kind of keep it, so that way I don't lose myself and go too in depth. But just to kind of illustrate this point, even back in the day when it comes to like the Romans and Greeks, males would openly be with other males. They would openly sleep with other males. The only thing that they didn't do was marry another male. And guess why they wouldn't do that? It's because if they married another male, then that one of those males would have to take on the role that they view as lowly. They view it as such a lowly role that they despised and they looked down on marriage between males and males, even though they openly would sleep with each other. And so that role involves things like being a caretaker, cleaning the home, things that until more recently were traditionally known as a women's role. They despised those roles and looked down on it so much that that's the only reason why they wouldn't marry each other. Well, nowadays it's not. That's been changed, right? So you have to stop to wonder why males that are more in tune with their emotions end up being gay. Right? They just haven't evolved. They cannot process through emotion. It's either one or the other for them, right? It's like they're not women. They just don't have what it takes to be efficient and do multiple things at once, right? So it's either one or the other. It's very black and white with them, right? So it's like, oh, now I'm super in tune with my emotions and things like that. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and just date. males, right? And so that's the thing, is that you're dealing with a species that is not evolved. This is an unevolved species. And actually, I would even go as far as saying that they have actually devolved over the years and over the centuries, unfortunately. And so this is not a channel that where we bash males. We just, in this channel, a lot of what we talk about is about the male psychology, and we learn more about the male psychology because one of my biggest priorities is that women go out there knowing the species that they're dealing with. Like, women need to understand this species on a more fundamental and psychological level, because too many women get played, too many women get lied to. Males lie all the time. The next video is going to be on why males lie, why they stay, like 99.99999% of them. It's like lying is just like breathing to them, right? So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But the most important thing is understanding the species that you're dealing with, right? So if you're sitting there talking about, oh yeah, like we can just be friends with benefits, do it at your own risk, okay? But don't say that you haven't been warned. They don't have the capacity to do that. If males can't even be friends with a woman, ma'am, what makes you think that they will be able to be friends with benefits? So now you're rewarding them for a skill set that they do not even have. You're literally giving them a reward. You're rewarding them for something that they haven't even done or shown the capacity for. Right? It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense, right? So as we process that, even primarily through a logical perspective, it literally makes no sense. Ladies, that's why I keep telling you, you cannot be any type of friends with a male. You can't be any type of dynamic with a male, right? They're too unevolved. They're just too unevolved. And so it makes it to where women are in the position where we're actually the real leaders, because we're the only ones with the capacity to lead. And so if you're the leader, then the last thing that, the males become, how do I say this? They're just not, what is their use? Right? Like, what is their use? You know what I mean? So you can't be friends with benefits with this species, because think about it. What is a friendship? Well, a friendship, you have to be emotionally available. It's like, hey, you want to hang out, you have to be chill. And most women, because we're so good at multitasking and we have more of a grip on our emotions, once we place you in that category, in a category of like friendships, or you tell us you're not interested, we could be friends, 99.9% of the time, that's where you're going to stay and that's where you're going to be, right? And males know that, and they don't like it because they want a sense of control. In addition to, they want a sense of control over women because of just the fact that males seek to objectify women inherently. So yeah, ladies, don't be friends with anything with them. It's better just to do a one night stand, but there's a different video. Maybe I'll make a different video on that, on how to properly vet males. If you want to just do like a one night stand and just like not contact them after that, that's actually a better option, to be honest with you. I don't really do that. I mean, just because I don't have a strong sexual urge. So I can go like literally months, years without really being worried about that type of stuff. And most males aren't good at it anyway. But I know that a lot of women, you might want like the physical intimacy every now and then. And so that's, to me, is a better approach, especially if we're talking about the psychological level for women, for you to go with. It's just like a one night stand and then just like get rid of them. Like that's it. Like that's all you got to do. But you got to vet them properly, because you don't want to like catch some disease or be with some psycho, or what if he's like, unaliving people like Ted Bundy, and you didn't assess that properly, So every male I meet that's a stranger to me, I literally males terrify me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, they are so scary to me because their lack of emotional awareness, so unless they're my clients, like, just meeting them randomly in real life, it's terrifying to me because they just have such a lack of emotional awareness. And a lot of times they know, like mentally they know, okay, that's a dangerous situation. You can't just ask a girl to go to a random place with you and expect her to say yes. That literally makes no sense. That would not be the right decision. A lot of times mentally they know that, but they literally just don't care, and they will still get offended if you say, no, I don't know you, I'm not going to like a random place. Like, they just don't care. So it's just like, I don't know, to me it's a very, very scary species. That's like, they freak me out, they creep me out. So it takes me a while to try to make sure that I'm assessing properly whether this dude is like a psycho that goes around unaliving people, or whether there's even a potential of that, right? So I'll make more videos on that, but yeah, so don't be friends with benefits with these males at all, because they're going to be the only ones benefiting, because you're going to be rewarding them with the sex and you're going to get no benefits, right? It makes no sense. Friends with benefits is a thing that really truly only ends up benefiting the male species, and as women there's no benefit there for us. So what sense does it make doing that? It makes no sense, y'all. Like, be so for real. But anyways, I love you guys so much. Go ahead and leave it in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this particular issue. Smash that like button for me, smash that subscribe button for me, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye bye.